So for better or worse, Berserk is going to continue, and it's going to continue without its creator. And if I'm being fully honest, after reading the letter written by Mori himself, I'm actually fully supportive of the decision to move forward. Now that we're here, how does it hold up? As always, welcome back to Berserk, everybody. Also, as always, I'm going to start this video by thanking my patrons. Thank you guys so very much. Now, after that nail-biting conclusion that was chapter 364, and that awful cliffhanger of an ending, we start with Puck. Okay, like OG Puck. Not this garbage Puck that we've been putting up with for so long, but like Puck. And he looks like Puck. I almost forgot what Puck even looked like. I mean, to be honest, I don't remember the Puck looking this good in a long time. Welcome back. We missed you. But seriously, we get a lot of reaction shots, and something is here, and everyone can feel it. Now, cut to where we left off with Casca walking out the door. And all hell breaks loose. We get pretty much the reaction from Casca that you would expect to happen in this exact situation. And then we get this shot of Guts, and it looks like he's about to go berserk, like he even has the little helmet climbing up his back, and then he doesn't. So I don't know if something stops him from going berserk at this point in the story, or if he makes the mental decision not to go berserk. I have no idea what just happened here. It seems like the wrong decision. Like, to be honest, I don't understand it. It's one of the things that ends up being one of the most, confusing decisions that was made in all of this section. I would expect the very first thing that he would do is go berserk. And it looks like that's what he tried to do, but then didn't. Like, of all the times that he's gone berserk, of all the opportunities that he's had to go berserk or not go berserk, or decisions to be made, you would think that this is the one time where you would be like, yeah, this is my ticket. This is the time. Here's Griffith. Here's my one power that I have that's like actually good at something. You know, you have one tool at your advantage other than the Dragon Slayer sword, but one tool that really takes you and tips you into the realm of formidable foe for somebody of Griffith's stature, and you don't use it? Questionable decision on your part, Guts. Never do you go up against Griffith bare-handed. What am I trying to say? Without the armor. That what? And I mean, even if he did go berserk, he's still probably not strong enough, even with the armor, to take on Griffith. So you would think, use what you got. What? I mean, I understand that Casca's literally right there, and that she has been a deciding factor in him losing or maintaining control in the past. But at the same time, Casca's right there. And if you don't take care of this problem over here, something bad might happen to Casca. Wink, wink. But anyway, he goes after Griffith, and it's one big swing and a miss, like a whiff after whiff after whiff. I mean, he's hitting nothing but air. And this goes on for a minute, pretty much until he loses his mind. And then we get to see Shirka, and she's outside of her body in her astral form, and she almost loses herself when she sees Griffith and his sheer overwhelming power, and he's basically this maelstrom vortex of power, and has to even thank Farnsay for showing up because she kind of anchors her and keeps her from just losing, herself entirely. When suddenly we see Puck, and he senses that something is coming. And we see Zod. And now we get Guts fighting Zod. Immediately, he just transitions into fighting him. Like, Griffith isn't over here, and now he's taking on Zod, and it's just like, oh, no. Like, this is just too much, right? And we get to see the rest of the group, and they're just walking down the road like, la-di-da-di-da-di-da, like nothing's happening. Like Guts isn't in the greatest, largest most intense battle of his entire life with the two most powerful people in the universe, when Danon collapses because she finally realizes that something's wrong. When we cut back to the battle and Griffith is approaching Shirka, Farnace, and Casca, and Guts swings and finally lands a blow on Griffith as he grabs Casca, and it doesn't even scratch him. He doesn't even twitch when the blade hits his shoulder. And the next thing you see is Griffith move out of the way, and I think the sword hits the ground. I'm not entirely sure what exactly happens here. But boy, oh boy, does the ground basically explode, break apart, and all of the leaves fly off of the tree palace. I mean, there is some massive devastation happening here. It's not clear if the sword hitting the ground did it, or if Griffith did it, or if it's a combination of all of the above, or if it's just the effects of everything that's happening. I don't really know, but some shit is gonna go down. Everything breaks. The island itself breaks. The darkness or the demons or the underlying energy that was there before the island was really even a thing is all going to come spilling out. And we're ultimately going to find out what's going on because we're going to get some crazy prophetic shit spouted at us by Skull Knight. Hey, Skull Knight, welcome. Nice of you to show up late to the party. It's already over. Casca's gone. Thanks for being late, buddy. We know you were on the island. You were probably 10 feet in that direction, just playing with the blacksmith or something. No, you didn't show up when we needed you, but you're gonna boom off some crazy prophecy shit. You're all the black goo was here before the island. It's, what was it? I don't see it. It doesn't matter. It's what the island was built on. I forget. Anyway, kudos to Isidro for realizing that they've seen this stuff before back in the climax of the Conviction arc when they were holding their own against it way back in the day. By the way, that scene was awesome. The one in the Conviction arc, that was one of my favorite scenes. Like, wow, that was a good beat, period. Anyway, back, what were we talking about? Now we get to see Roderick and the ship and everything that's going on over there. And the darkness is coming for them as well. And now cut to Guts, and we get to see him staring up at Griffith and Zod as they fly away with an unconscious Casca. And we see the horror and the realization set in as they fly away. And Guts collapses to the ground. And at this point, Danon says that it's time for us to depart this world, and all of the magical beings start to disappear. And I have absolutely no idea how or why or what the effect is, once again, what that's causing this, but we get to see everything kind of slowly fade away. And the most shocking of all was when the Little Mermaid starts to disappear, and Isidro is literally left holding like a pair of empty clothes, and I was like, oh shit. Like, I thought we were gonna get a new character there for a second, and we kind of did. For like, it genuinely felt like she was introduced and going to be incorporated into the group just for that to happen, and it happened quick. And with as quick as it happened, I must say, it hit pretty hard. Like, I'm impressed with the development, introduction of that character and how it was taken away and the impact that it had. I must say, impressive. But now everything's coming apart. The island, all of it. And we need to get out of here. And the group is going to run to the only salvation that they have left. The ship. Did anyone want to be back on the ship a little bit longer? Probably not. Readers included. But anyway, everybody gets there. And when they get there, somehow Guts is already on board, because we're not wasting any time here. And he's locked himself in the hole. And at this point, we get to see just how deep he is into his despair. And every time something bad has happened to Guts over the past several videos, I keep saying that he's just a little bit more broken than before. But here it is. Here, he's finally at his lowest, or what appears to be. Just when everything seemed like it might be on the up and up, just when Casca got her memories back and it looked like she was going to become kind of like her old self again. And yes, it still, even after her memories came back, she kept continuing to like collapse and break down every time she saw Guts, and it continued to really kind of crush him and break him a little bit more even after she got her memories back. But even so, even with all that, it seemed like we were on the right track. We were on the road to what would eventually be recovery. At least we were moving in the right direction. But with his sword laying in the corner and him just sitting there staring at it, we get flashes of memories in his head. Flashes of memories of him in battle and fighting and swinging his sword. I've never believed in anything but you. And at this point, Shirk is going to project into the room and get a glimpse inside of Guts and Guts' mind, and let's just say, it's not pretty. And I must say, this got really dark really fast. Casca's gone, Guts is broken, and there is no light at the end of this tunnel. This is easily the most depressing ending we've had to an arc ever. If this is even the end of an arc. Everything I can read, everything I've read online says that this is the end of the Fantasia arc, but I wonder, is it the end of the Fantasia arc, or are we still in the Fantasia arc and this is just the end of the Elf Island chapter? I'm not entirely sure, but if it's the end of an arc, it's the darkest, deepest, and most depressing one that we've had yet. Now, back in Falconia, Mule can't quite figure out why everybody's going outside. Lord Locust and even Grundbell are all out there. What is everyone doing in the harbor?
He's returned.
Welcome home, Lord Griffith. And I must say that this is now the second arc in a row that has ended with our group on a boat and Griffith victorious. The last time Griffith was victorious over essentially the world, and this time he is victorious over our group and over Guts. And I'm basically at a loss for words at this point, to be honest. I'm not really sure what to think or how to feel or where to really go from here. I'm not sure how Guts is going to pick himself back up and move forward from this point. I mean, obviously he will ultimately find a way, but I just don't see what that's going to be yet. And when he does, I don't really know how they're going to go up against and fight Griffith. And now, especially, and if he couldn't do it here and now and in this way, I don't know how he's going to do it once he gets back home and has an entire demon army to back him up. At least on the island, it was kind of him by himself. Where do we go once he's got reinforcements? I'm not sure how to fight this fight. I'm not sure how they're going to fight this fight. I guess I'm just eagerly awaiting where we go from here. I don't know. I guess I'm just in the same boat as everybody else now, just eagerly awaiting the next chapter and the next. I don't know. Where do we go from here? Anyway, I also feel like we should talk about the art now, here, post Miura. In these chapters, I feel like people have not been very kind to the art. And I do think that it is noticeably different post Miura. But we've had so many different style shifts and quality shifts and just shifts in general in the art over the years that for it to keep shifting like it always has, doesn't feel very jarring at all. It feels pretty normal for it to evolve over time. I also feel like people have misrepresented it, or at the very least tried to make it out to seem worse than it actually is by putting up some of the bad pictures like, look, see how bad the artwork is now. And yes, there are some bad shots. Holy crap, are there some bad shots. But I don't think that that's fair because there's also some really good shots too in here. If anything at all, it does, I will say that it does feel less polished than some of the other art that we've had recently. But all in all, it feels, other than that, it feels pretty close to being at least on a similar level. I guess I'm just saying that it's not as bad as some people make it out to be. And also, all in all, I did get some pretty strong, like, Griffith vibes from this section, in the sense that when I did my Griffith read, I did say that that section felt very rushed. Like it was a section that could have used more time to breathe, and we squished it down into a smaller section than it really needed. And I feel kind of similar to this one. I feel like this could have had a little bit more time to breathe and could have been a little bit longer, and it felt like it was kind of squished and rushed a bit. Other than that, all in all, I feel like this section here was probably a pretty solid 8. Anyway, as always, everybody, the link for my Discord's in the description below. The link for my Patreon's in the description below. I still haven't tweeted, but you can follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you next time.